First up, Amber displaying contempt. Court TV spoke with body language expert Janine Driver to speak about all the small details that she noticed while watching the trial. When speaking about things that people at home might have missed, Driver said that Amber was displaying signs of contempt. Contempt is a pattern of attitudes and behavior, often towards an individual or group, but sometimes toward an ideology, which is the characteristics of disgust and anger. When talking about signs of contempt, Driver said, quote, "It's on the left side of her face right there. It's moral superiority, and it's out of place, especially for a battered woman. I work with battered women, they're not leaking contempt." The expert continued that signs of contempt were shown in other women like Casey Anthony and Jodi Arias, who the public were convinced did horrible acts and were hiding the truth. Driver continued, quote, "The bigger the audience, the more often we will see contempt, and we're seeing it every single day on Amber Heard's face, never once on Johnny Depp's face." Contempt is one of the 7 universal emotions that cannot be hidden on a person's face, so it's giving us a true window into what's happened in her mind. Next up, Johnny Depp hand movements. One body language expert noted that Depp might have been deceptive during his testimony about hurting his finger. When he was on the stand to testify about when he allegedly put his hand through a wall out of anger, Depp denied this and told a different version of events, claiming his finger was hurt after Heard threw a bottle at him. However, the body language expert notes that the large pauses he had while telling the story is concerning and might signify that he is trying to piece together a story rather than the truth. Although it's normal to be careful with words during a trial, the expert noted deceptive behavior and a quote, condescending smirk, face touching, and grooming by running his hand through his hair. He also frequently blocked his mouth. This all contributed to him being a quote, charming storyteller. He also injected emotion into his retelling of events to connect to his audience even more. The expert believes that Depp 100% punched a wall, but that he told the truth when he didn't sustain his finger injury at the time. Johnny smiling in court. During the trial, we have seen Johnny smile or smirk during intense or uncomfortable moments. Expert Janine Driver explained how this can be tied back to the childhood abuse Johnny faced when he was younger, something Johnny testified about during the trial. When speaking about the science behind it, Driver said, quote, "When people feel weak or vulnerable or emasculated, they'll often smile in those moments," adding, quote, "It's a way to not let us see how much suffering they're in. It becomes a defense mechanism that people will use throughout their life. I'm sure Johnny Depp has been doing this for years. This smile right here is saying I'm uncomfortable." First up, we got James Franco. Actor James Franco is one of the many witnesses that will be called to the stand on behalf of Amber Heard. The pair first met on the set of the 2008 movie Pineapple Express, where they developed a friendship. That movie was one of the first in her career. According to People, Amber confided in James after an alleged physical altercation with Johnny. While Depp was on the stand talking about the breakdown of his marriage with Heard, he brought up Heard's relationship with Franco and how he believed that she was cheating on him. Along with meeting during the making of Pineapple Express, the pair also worked together on the 2015 movie The Adderall Diaries. Depp claimed he became suspicious of the pair's interactions during a scene he believed that Heard was having an affair. Johnny even admitted that he once confronted Amber about her relationship with James Franco. While the couple was on a flight from Boston to LA, Johnny decided to confront Amber about allegations that she was cheating with Franco. Later, a recording was played by Heard's defense, where Depp was heard saying, quote, "I became irrational when you're doing movies. I become jealous and effing weird, and we fight a lot more." Depp also admitted to being insecure while with Amber, as he stated that he got jealous when Heard would go out with other people. James Franco has been long connected to Amber and her messy divorce, but has never made any public statements about where he stands, although we can assume that he supports her, as they started dating while Amber accused Depp of Even though Heard denied having a relationship with Franco, that was deemed to be a lie when camera footage of Franco and Heard in an elevator were leaked. Heard brought Franco to her and Johnny's LA penthouse while Depp was away. Franco didn't give evidence or a witness statement, but Heard described the visit in May of 2016. She claimed that she had facial injuries after Depp threw a phone at her after he found feces in their marital bed, which Depp claimed she was responsible for, and we now know that Amber Heard was, with Heard saying in court that Franco made a comment about the bruises on her face, saying, quote, "Oh my god, what happened to you? He saw my face when I let him in, he saw my face and said, what the?" Franco was also asked to testify for Johnny's case because Depp and his team want to confirm that Franco saw bruises on Heard's face when they met up that night. Although Franco agreed to testify, he stated his words must be kept secret, and if they leaked, Depp would be personally responsible. Hopefully we get the full story when Franco is put on the stand in the coming weeks.
Number 10. Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz, the woman known best for her roles in movies like Vanilla Sky and tons of Spanish-speaking films. She was also Johnny Depp's co-worker in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. She played Angelica, the daughter of Blackbeard, and she is super outspoken about her support for Johnny Depp. In their statement about the issue, she said, quote, "I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations and he is always kind to everyone around. He's one of the most generous people I know. During 6 months of my first pregnancy, I spent every single day with him while we shot Pirates of the Caribbean. My husband and I will never forget the sweetness, protection, and kindness he treated me with during every single step of that process. We love him very much and I feel lucky to have someone so special in our lives." She hasn't fully gone against Amber Heard, but I think it's pretty clear just where her loyalties lie in this matter.
Amber touches her face. While Amber was listening to an audio recording in court, the body language expert observed that Amber touched her face a lot. The expert told viewers that when anyone's levels of stress and anxiety are increased, one of the ways our body deals with it is by touching our face. Continuing, quote, "It's like recharging your cell phone. It does a cognitive reset, and it does an emotional reset." Amber specifically touched her face on her forehead, which is significant to the body language expert. Touching the forehead is an indicator of shame, and since the audio recording was making Amber look bad, it makes sense she would feel shame. Even though Amber touched her face quite a bit, the expert noted that Amber never showed any, quote, "microaggressions of sadness throughout her eyebrows or corners of her lip, as one would expect in a trial like this." When the expert was asked about the audio recordings, Driver said the recordings should be thrown out of court, adding, quote, "Of course she's going to be whistling Dixie saying good things in these audio recordings, most of them. Who knows, she could be acting. This does not prove she is a battered woman, like the article said in the Washington Post." Next up, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is another celebrity who is testifying on behalf of Amber Heard during her trial because they had a relationship around the time that Amber was accusing Johnny of getting physical with her. The reason Elon has been dragged into this case is because Johnny accused him of having an affair with Amber back in 2020. The accusation was enough to make major headlines at the time. It was never confirmed if the pair cheated or not, but it's clear that Amber and Elon had a romantic relationship. Elon and Amber started dating in the summer of 2016 and were spotted out multiple times in London. In August of 2017, it was reported that Elon had ended their year-long romance. The pair got back together months later, but called it quits yet again months later. A source told Mail at the time, quote, "It's all over between Amber and Elon and she's devastated. It was his decision." Apparently the timing between the two was not right. Another source confirmed the breakup and also confirmed that it was Elon's decision to end things. The pair cited their conflicting schedules as what kept them apart. Later, Musk admitted that he was heartbroken from the breakup and even claimed that Heard was more so responsible for the split, revealing, quote, "I was really in love and it hurt bad. Well, she broke up with me more than I broke up with her, I think." Musk claimed after the split that he was so heartbroken, he hardly made it through the launch of the Tesla Model 3 event. Adding, quote, "It took every ounce of will to be able to do the Model 3 event and not look like the most depressed guy around. For most of that day, I was morbid." Along with having a romantic relationship with Heard, Johnny Depp alleged in court documents that Elon had a, quote, "three-way affair with Heard and model actress Cara Delevingne at Depp's and Heard's apartment in Los Angeles in 2016, while Depp was away in Australia. Although Musk denied this allegation and called Delevingne a friend. Musk has admitted to having dated Heard, but only after she filed for divorce from Depp. When asked about their relationship, Musk further stated, quote, "Also, I wish to confirm again that Amber and I only started going out about a month after her divorce filing. I don't think I was ever even in the vicinity of Amber during their marriage." It's hard to know if there's any more information that Musk has that could be useful to either Depp or Heard, but again, we will be finding out shortly in court.
Number 9. Javier Bardem. Now on to Penelope Cruz's husband, Javier Bardem. He revealed back in March 2020 during one of the previous court cases that his allegiance lies stoutly with Johnny Depp. They had previously worked together on a movie called Before Night Falls and again in Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. In a statement, he said, quote, "I stand by Johnny because I have always seen and felt a true caring and loving man in him. He's an extraordinary and unique artist who has listened to anyone who needed help. I not only love Johnny but respect him deeply and thank him for being the free and careless little boy he is in his art and the mature and loving man he is in the lives of others. He's always there when we need him. I love Johnny because he is a good human being, trapped in the lies and manipulations of toxic beings, and yet smiling and loving us all in spite of it. How? Through his music, through his acting, through his silence. This means a lot. Thank you, Johnny. Millions of others like me love you deeply. Coming in at number 8 is Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder dated Johnny Depp for 4 years from 1989 to 1993. Having known him for so long, she felt inclined to give a statement on the conflict. Quote, I understand that it is very important that I speak from my own experience, as I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber, but from my experience, which was so widely different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly harmful person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He has never physically hurt anybody I have seen. I truly and honestly only know him as a really good man. He's an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who was so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very, very safe with him. While she also didn't come out against Amber Heard, she did explain her sense of disbelief at the idea of Johnny ever hurting anyone. Number 7 is Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa Paradis is Johnny Depp's ex-wife, who is also a famous French singer. The two have 2 children together and were together for 25 years. Although they divorced in 2012, she was quick to come to the defense of her ex-husband, who is a supportive co-parent. Quote, I have known Johnny Depp for more than 25 years. We've been partners for 14 years, and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. I am aware of the allegations which Amber Heard has publicly accused Johnny of for more than 4 years now. This is nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never harmful towards me. Her statement is eloquent and straight to the point, and for someone who also had a falling out with the man, she still holds such a high viewpoint of the actor. So what does that say? Next up is Kevin McNally, Johnny Depp's co-star who played Gibbs in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Although it's extremely unlikely that he will show up in court to testify for Johnny Depp, once rumors surfaced that Depp was to step down as Jack Sparrow, he stated, quote, my dream is that some sort of link will be needed between what has been before and whatever bizarre incarnation of what there is to come. But I sincerely think that my fate is so tied in with Johnny's that I will go with him if indeed he does go, which is a really beautiful thing to say about someone. Next up on the list is David Yates. David is the director of the Fantastic Beasts series, a spin-off of Harry Potter that used to star Johnny Depp as one of the villains. Johnny was fired from his role after the allegations surfaced from Amber Heard when she wrote the article that she had been harmed by someone. Although not named, we all know who she was referring to. Anyways, he released a statement saying, quote, honestly, there's an issue at the moment where there's a lot of people being accused of things. They're being accused by multiple victims, and it's compelling and frightening. With Johnny, it seems to me there was one person who took a pop at him and claimed something. I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with. Coming in at number 4 is J.K. Rowling. Okay, J.K. Rowling isn't really in anyone's good graces lately for various extremely valid reasons, but she did show a statement of support for Johnny Depp after he was initially hired for his role in the Fantastic Beasts franchise that she had written. Despite receiving a lot of backlash for the decision to hire him, the Harry Potter author stated, quote, for me personally, the inability to speak openly to fans about this issue has been difficult, frustrating, and at times painful. However, the agreements that have been put in place to protect the privacy of 2 people, both of whom have expressed a desire to get on with their lives, must be respected. Based on our understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies. Glad that worked out. Coming in at number 3 is Sia. Basically zero chance that she'll show up in court, but Sia is next on the list of celebrities who have been extremely outspoken in supporting Johnny Depp. In a tweet speaking about the matter, she stated, quote, just showing my public support for Johnny Depp. I mean, I'd love him to get clean and stop with the jewelry, but he is clearly the victim after hearing those tapes. Fair enough on the jewelry aspect, sometimes it's a bit tacky. Coming in at number 2 is Sharon Osbourne. Another famous celebrity who left a show of support for Johnny Depp is the wife of Ozzy Osbourne and British television personality Sharon Osbourne. During an appearance on a talk show aptly named The Talk, Sharon stated, quote, it takes 2 to tango. I think that they had a very vulnerable relationship. I think they're both as bad as each other. She gave him as good as she got. It wasn't just like a little mouse in the corner being battered. I don't know what they were using. I have no idea who was doing what, but I know they were both drinking and it's a volatile relationship. Next on my list is an actor who is confirmed to be called to testify for his part in the aggressive texts that he and Johnny had exchanged about Amber Heard and the horrifying things they would do to her body. Paul Bettany co-starred with Johnny for the 2010 movie The Tourist. They also worked together on Transcendence and Mordecai. Having worked together on several films, the two quickly quickly became super close friends. Initially, he tweeted, quote, "Known Johnny Depp for years and through several relationships. He's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known. Just saying." Apparently, during the reading of the texts about Amber between the two actors, Paul felt ashamed of what he said and attempted to distance himself from the couple, which, like, man, if you're gonna say that stuff, at least own it fully. Don't shy away from it.
Amber Heard looks turtled. YouTube channel The Behavioral Arts did an entire video on some of the body language that's been displayed during the trial. When specifically talking about Amber, they claim that Amber looked, quote, turtled during the trial, like she was trying to draw less attention to herself and look smaller. The expert explains that this is a defense mechanism when people feel insecure. She also showcases stress in key areas of her chin and forehead. They also noticed that Amber was giving, quote, non-answer statements when testifying. When watching a portion of the trial, the host notes that Amber has shifty eyes when someone is talking to her. One reason for this could be a condescending lack of interest, with it signaling that the person who is speaking to her is not important enough. Heard has defensive body language. During the trial, the body language expert noticed that Heard seemed very aggressive, which is interesting because it's not normally an emotion that would be seen in a domestic harm case. At one point, Heard started to aggressively scratch her shoulders so fast that she almost knocked off her microphone. When Heard's lawyers objected to some questions, Heard started looking down, showing that she was thinking of what to say next. Heard then danced around Depp's questioning, using a technique called speech disfluency. She stumbled over her words and also used fluff words like to stall time, and to think about what to say next. The expert also noted that when answering some questions, it seemed like she had rehearsed what to say. Since she's an actress, that makes a lot of sense. The expert noted she looked like she had, quote, forgotten her lines. Heard forgot key details while testifying. When Heard was describing some of the altercations she had with Johnny, the body language expert noted that Heard seemed to forget a lot of key details, including which parts of her body were specifically hurt when the bottle was allegedly thrown at her by Johnny. Heard was also fluttering her eyes, another deflection technique. The expert also emphasized that Heard minimizes some of her previously mentioned altercations to put further stress on others, trying to manipulate how things are being interpreted by listeners. Ellen Barkin is another celebrity who is taking the stand in the defense of Amber Heard. Barkin is an actress who briefly dated Depp many years ago and supports Heard's claims that he can get violent. Depp and Barkin worked together for a brief time in the 1990s, shortly after his split from Winona Ryder. When Barkin and Depp first met in 1998 on the set of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he had just come out of a long-term relationship with Winona Ryder. After splitting from Ryder, Depp began seeing Barkin. They had a pretty large age gap, with Barkin being 9 years older than Depp. In her deposition in support of Amber, Barkin claims that while she was dating Depp, they got in a fight and he ended up throwing a wine bottle at her, although Depp denies this. He claims their relationship was a casual one and Barkin wanted to be more serious, saying that he believed her accusations were due to a grudge. When speaking about their relationship, Depp recalled meeting her while making Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, adding, quote, "She wanted a proper relationship with me and I did not want that. I didn't feel the same about her as she did me, and I suppose from that moment on, she became very, very angry, and since then, I have not spoken to Miss Barkin, nor has Miss Barkin spoken to me." Obviously, if the story is true, it shows that Johnny has been violent with his partners in the past, and it would add more weight to Heard's allegations. Raquel Pennington. Raquel Pennington is a close friend of Amber Heard's that will be testifying in court that she witnessed bruises and cuts on Heard's body during her marriage to Depp. Deadline reported that Pennington's name was mentioned as Depp recounted a past confrontation with then-wife Heard. Pennington was also present on their wedding day. Pennington is involved in this case because she was neighbors with Heard and Depp while they were living in their downtown LA penthouse apartment. Pennington and Heard have been friends for almost 2 decades, with Pennington even testifying during Johnny Depp's libel case against the Sun newspaper in 2020. During the libel trial, Pennington said that she, quote, became really scared for Amber's life. Pennington also testified that Heard had, quote, deep lacerations from her wrists to her elbows, and the soles of her feet had numerous small cuts, adding that Heard still had scars on her arm from the incident. But Pennington did also state that she'd never actually seen Depp hit Heard, so there is some room to think that Amber Heard got these cuts and bruises from someone else other than Depp. And finally, Tassia Van Ray. When Depp first started to allege that Heard was the violent one in their relationship, not him, news that Heard had been violent towards a past partner went viral. While Heard was in a relationship with Tassia Van Ray, she was accused of physical harm in 2009. Heard was arrested by Port of Seattle police on September 14th of 2009 after the former couple got into an altercation at the airport. Apparently Heard grabbed and struck Van Ray's arm. Heard was arrested and then had to go in front of a judge the next day. In the end, prosecutors declined to press charges. Although years later when the allegations again came to light, Van Ray defended Amber, claimed the altercation was not what was described by police. In a statement issued by Heard's publicist in 2016, Van Ray said that Heard had been, quote, wrongfully accused and that the entire incident had been blown out of proportion, claiming the cops had over-sensationalized what happened. Van Ray continued, quote, I recall hints of misogynistic attitudes towards us, which later appeared to be homophobic when they found out we were domestic partners and not just friends. When speaking about her feelings towards Amber at the time, she continued, quote, it's disheartening that Amber's integrity and story are being questioned yet again. Amber is a brilliant, honest, and beautiful woman, and I have the utmost respect for her. Although Depp's camp refuted these words, and they claim that many former partners of Amber's came forward to share that Heard with those partners in the past, clearly showing a pattern in her relationships. Heard and Van Ray had started dating in 2008 and later split in 2012, but still remained close friends, with Van Ray speaking out in defense of Amber during the trial.